Your move, your move.
What's up guys, it's Rogue here and welcome to another amazing deck profile on the channel. So for today we're going to be doing an updated version of my last Rescue Ace deck profile. As you can see by the title, it is 9 and 1. This is referring to the two locals I have taken the deck to since the last video. And we got 5 wins in the first local, so straight 5-0. And then we have the locals of this week, which is currently today. It just happened. I went 4-1. And I lost to Salmon Great Mitch, Mr. TCG. Make sure you do check him out on YouTube. It was a great match, and yeah, he gave me the first loss in a couple of weeks with this deck, which is fine, because I still got second place, so 9-1 overall. So in 10 games, I won 9 and lost 1, which I think is a pretty good achievement for this deck. Our locals is very competitive, very competitive. There is a lot of amazing players there, and they do typically tend to bring more meta relevant stuff. I'm not going 9-1 against Zoo Ships and Hungry Burgers, for example. I'm playing Runics, I'm playing Earthbound Runics, I'm playing Snake Eyes, Fire Kings, that type of thing. So it is a very competitive locals, and I'm very happy that we went 9-1. And this is the deck that is helping me do that. So if you do enjoy this type of content, make sure you do leave a like and subscribe down below. Also comment, is Rescue Ace playable this format? I think it is. I've seen a lot of success with this deck. People are saying change it up, play a different deck. I don't think I need to. I mean, the deck is still putting in decent results for me. I'm still pulling great cards, getting good pricing. I think, you know, the deck's probably paid itself back at this point, and it is max rarity. So, yeah, we keep pushing with this deck and keep trying to make sure that people know that Rescue Aces are still a very good deck this format. Anyway, enough blabbering on. Let's get on to the main deck. So, starting off with the main deck, we have the main man. Hydrant, 2 Hydrant. He is a strange card. You're in a strange spot with Hydrant because he's the main card of your deck, but he himself isn't a 1-card combo, which is very strange to say. And the reason why I don't play 3, if you open just him, you cannot get the full Turbulence effect. You cannot get to Turb. It's impossible. You have to search Preventer and you end on a Link 2 with a body, which is pretty good, but it's not Turb. So I think 2 is fine. He's a level 1 fire, meaning you can summon him out of the deck, which is usually what you're going to be doing with your Snake Eyes package anyway. And yeah, I think 2's fine. 2's working really well for me. 3 I think could be a bit cloggy, and 1 is very, very risky, and I wouldn't advise playing 1. I think 2's the perfect number. So the other main guy, Double Turb. I mean, the entire deck really revolves around getting him to resolve and then establishing Link monsters to help keep the momentum going and win the game. Why aren't I playing 3? Because you don't want to brick on him. You just want to search him, and sometimes hard opening him is fine and it saves you the search, which is great. Other times opening 2 of him or him with other multiple high-level Rescue Ace monsters is not great. So I'm trying to cut down on the high-level monsters in Rescue Ace. I think it's fairly trimmed down at the moment. 2 Turb has been working fine. He's obviously amazing. I think you guys know what Turbulence do. If you don't, he sets 4 from the deck. Like, what more do I need to say? That's incredible. He also has pop effects, which sometimes come up. I mean, I think of the 10 games, it came up twice in 2 matches. So it does come up fairly regularly. If they try to blow up a card, you can chain emergency, get Turbulence onto the field for him to see the card leave, and you can blow up a card for free. That's pretty nice. Or sometimes they just don't really... they're not aware, or they don't care about the pop, and they just pop something while Turb's there, and you get sort of extra disruption that way. So, yeah, the 2 Turb is really good. I see him. You see him when you need him, and he's highly searchable anyway. For other high-level Rescue Ace monsters, Double Preventer, incredible card. He's mostly a combo piece, to be honest with you. The disruption's really nice. However, I'm not going to say it's difficult getting the disruption on your opponent's turn, because it isn't, because you can just summon like 50 times because it's Rescue Ace. However, that's not his main use. His main use is extension plays. He can banish a Rescue Ace card from the grave as cost, usually a monster, summon himself, and then when he's linked away, or leaves the field in general, he's going to special 1 back from the banish pile. So he gives you 2 monsters off the 1 card, which is amazing. Really, really nice card. And he's a quick effect Book of Moon, which is useful as well. Against the fusion decks, not so much, not that useful. Against other decks though, like Salmon Greats, I mean, if you can book their normal, that's usually a great place to start. Other decks sort of can be hurt a lot by the book, and it's a book every single turn, and it's free. So yeah, if you can get it off, it's great, but it's mostly just an extension piece. Other high-level guy, we have one Fire Engine. People say, you can cut him. I think he's still very good. He is frustrating to see in your hand as the only rescue ace. I give you that. If you see him in your hand as the only rescue ace, you want to rip him in half, because he himself is useless. You need to see other rescue ace cards for him to do things, or you need to impulse him out the deck. So, but he's great. When he comes up, he's great. He specials a rescue ace from pretty much anywhere. Grave, hand, deck, just a level 4 lower. Usually your airlifter, and you can cycle airlifters because the card's at 1 now. You can cycle it from the grave or out the deck and get it started in your turn 0, which is really cool. We have one impulse. Again, this guy mostly 99% of the time brings out Fire Engine. And his use is you can play turn 0 with him. Why am I playing 3? You don't really ever want to see him going first in your opening hand. I mean, you can search him if you want to have disruption, extra disruption during opponent's turn, that's fine. However, you never really want to see him in your opening hand. You'd rather see other rescue ace cards that let you establish your board and then search him later. So that's why I think like playing 2 or 3, seeing multiple of him, that is not great. You need, I think what the ban list did, limiting airlifters, you need every card now to matter a bit more. You can't just have 3 impulse and have the airlifter anyway and play. You need all your cards to sort of be relevant. You can't afford many dead draws, and that is why I play the 1 impulse and the 1 Fire Engine. You can arguably cut both. I've seen some people that do that. Maybe that's something I test in the future, but for now, it's fine. His on-field effect as well, not many people know about it for some reason, and I think that's crazy. But he essentially affects the player, so unaffected monsters sort of can't use their effects through impulse because he affects the player, which is nice. So Pearly Noirs are great, and other unaffected things. They're just useful to have the impulse for that. Obviously, the last card left is Airlifter. We're definitely going to be playing him. He's at 1 now. Searches a spell on summon, and he can quick effect tribute himself. Special summon a rescue ace from your hand when a monster effect is activated on the field. That comes up a lot as well. That comes up a lot. I say of the 10 matches I played, that came out like 6 out of the 10 matches. The tribute from field to special one, that comes up a lot. It's really good for dodging as well. If they have a targeting negate with a monster, it's really good. He's crazy. I wish you could see him in every hand, to be honest with you. But you can't. But when you do, he's fantastic. For the spells, triple emergency, best spell card in the deck, really. An E-Telly that tributes, you may think that's worse than E-Telly. It's really not, because it helps you dodge cards. So if they imperm your Hydrant, you can emergency, special airlift, the tribute off Hydrant. Hydrant resolves because imperm is targeting. Same for Veiler. Same for any targeting negation they might have, any pops. It's just incredible. Really, really incredible card. You can banish it from the graveyard, and it resets one of your rescue traps as well during your main phase. So, gives you grind game. It gives you everything. This card is your lifeline. For the other spells, we play 1 of each because we can set them directly from the deck. 1 rescue. It's a monster reborn. Not much to say about it. On a quick play, which is kind of nice. Helps push for OTK sometimes. Opponent doesn't expect it. Also, if you control Hydrant, you can steal one of their monsters from their graveyard. So if they have like a Baron, De Fleur, you can just take that. Starlight, DPEs. I say Starlight because it happened. The Starlight one. Destroy Phoenix Enforcers, you can take it. Anything of use, you can just take. Really nice. We also have 1 alert. This card, not as great as Rescue, in my opinion. But if you open Emergency and Alert only, you can unbrick yourself through the alert. Because Emergency summon Hydrant, or Airlifter, tribute it off, grab back alert, will grab the monster, and you can normal summon it. So you can sort of unbrick yourself in that situation. But mostly use it as it's a rota. If you control Hydrant, it picks one up from the deck instead of the grave. So useful in that regard. We have the 1 field spell. I don't know how I feel about this card now, to be honest with you. I feel like the games either end by my opponent scooping, or they board break and kill me. Very rarely I get into the grind game, so I might move this to the side, to be honest with you. But when the card comes up, it comes up. You shuffle cards back into your deck, you draw 1, you can reset them with Turb. It gives you 2 normal summons. It comes up, it's useful. I'm not going to say it's not useful, because that would be a lie. And then for the traps, 1 contain, 1 extinguish. You never want to see these cards in your hand, pretty much. If you do, it's not too bad if you open the Diabellstar stuff, because you can send them to the grave and then reset them later with emergency. However, they're not great to draw. amazing when you set them. Fantastic. And again, a pop, sign me up. Drawing them, not so great. It happened in the one match I lost in the 9-1. My starting hand against the Salmon Great Player in Game 3 was Contain, Extinguish, Wanted, and Nibiru with a draw. And he did his combo and then activated deck lockdown. Moving on from the Rescue Ace part of the deck, we have the expensive part, as I like to say, the Diabellstar package. People say, is it mandatory? And I say yes. It is so good in this deck. We also play the one Jet Synchron. This is how in games 2 and 3 we play through board breakers. Evenly match Harpy's Feather Duster, destroy this deck because we're going to be setting 4. And evenly match more so because at least with Harpies we have access to them in the grave. Evenly match banishes them face down and there's no way of us getting them back. This is how we stop that. We play Jet Synchron, we make Savage, we make Barone, and then we have 2 negates for a card like Evenly Matched, and we save those negates. We just play with our background until then, and hand traps. So, yeah, the Witch is amazing as well. Summons itself, doesn't even start a chain. You know, it's going to be setting us our 1-for-1 spell, and then we're going to be summoning this or Hydrant, depending on the hand. Sometimes you can't summon the Jet Synchron because your hand isn't that great, which is sad. But other times, you can just summon the Jet Synchron and do extra combos from there. And since we play the Witch, we have the triple Wanted with the 1 original. Wanted's a fantastic card. It's a quick play, meaning you always do it in the draw phase to play around draw. It gives you a draw when needed as well. And then the 1-for-1 spell is going to be summoning you your Hydrant or your Jet Synchron. And if you leave it in the grave a whole turn, it will actually search you another level 1 fire, and then you can do this for the draw. So if you leave it in the grave 1 turn, you actually get extra follow-up. So really cool. And obviously it's settable and usable the same turn of the Witch. For the other cards, we have Triple Fenrir. Is this card mandatory? No, but it really helps for the Witch discards because you can add Fenrir and then pitch that Fenrir immediately for the Witch. So you got a free Witch send off that. And just helps going first and second, to be honest. Great at breaking boards and great at solidifying your board as well. Really great card. For the hand traps, we have a couple here. We have Triple Ash, because we are already playing fires. There's a debate right now, is it worth playing Ash because they can heater take it? We are already playing fires because we are a fire deck. So they're going to heater us regardless, so we can play the Ash. Ash has great matchups into Branded. It has decent matchup, I guess, into the Snake Eye Fire Kings one, because you can Ash the 1-for-1 spell and it kind of hurts sometimes. Usually needing a hand trap to pair up with it. And we can recycle the Ash with our Link 2. So that's the main reason why we play it. We play Triple Droll. Droll's a fantastic card. Sorry to Nay. He's playing Vanadium. First match. Game 1. He activates Field Spell, searches, and I Droll him, and he passes his turn. So I'm really sorry for that, Nay. But Droll is there for that exact reason. Against heavy combo decks, we need Droll to just say, no, whoa, calm down. We're going to play it at my pace. And I think Droll's fantastic at that. We also have the Triple Imper. Just a better effect Veiler, in my opinion. Doesn't trigger Thrust or Talents, and is great to draw off the 6th. You know, great to draw as a 6th card to help break a board as well. Fantastic card. Couldn't recommend it highly enough. Would I change any hand traps? Maybe not. Maybe the draws for Nibiru's or Veilers if you really need the effect negation, but I think this hand trap line worked out perfectly fine. For the other spells, we have Double Prosp, helps with consistency. I'm not playing 3. As dumb as it sounds, it conflicts quite a lot with the deck, with Wanted especially, because you can't draw. And I know you play 3 Prosp because you don't want to brick and the deck is a bit inconsistent, but I just feel like that draw sometimes is a bit more important. So I only play the 2 Prosp. We have the 1 Rota. This is essentially a second copy of Airlifter. So a consistency piece, fantastic, and a beautiful QCO. We have 1 Call by the Grave, help us play around hand traps. You could cut this if you want to play 40. The deck's 41 at the moment. I feel Call by is useful, has useful utility. A card that has really impressed me these last couple of weeks is actually Triple Tactics Talent. This card has come up way more than I thought it would ever, to be honest with you. It was amazing at forcing a negation. I was going against a voiceless voice player who was really saving his negate. So I just thrusted, and then Tactics use tactics, attempt to take, and he has to negate that because why wouldn't you? And then you can continue your plays from there. Against a Sword Soul player, I tactics to take his Baron de Fleur, and then I take it and I can pop cards that he controls, and it's fantastic. Or we can just draw as well. So really, really good card. And that is the main deck. It is 41 cards. As I said, if you're going to cut a card, one of these two. For a big event, maybe Jet Synchron, and then change your side deck, because Jet Synchron, you really hate drawing it. But for now, this is the deck that's been performing very well. Let's go now to the extra deck. For the extra deck now, we have the Link 4s. We have the 1 Access Code Talker. Amazing at OTKs. I feel like this card's mandatory, to be honest. You can link climb so easily. You can make a Celine, reborn a Diabellstar, and boom, there you go. You got an access code with like 2 pops there. You can go Heater into Dark, Dark into Celine, and Celine into access code, and that's like 3-4 pops right there as well. This card just helps you seal out so many games. It's crazy. We have one Apo. To be honest, I don't really make Apo too much. Not gonna lie. I think in the 10 games, I made Apo maybe 3 times. Not too much at all. But when you make it, it comes up a lot. I feel like having 3 to 4 monster negates against Snake Eyes isn't a bad thing. I mean, if they draw the imperm, that sucks, because they just imperm your Apo, and then you lose all your negates. But, you know, them having to play through 3 to 4 monster negates, it's not going to happen. You're going to win that game. We have the 1 Whale. Shout out to my man Cassus, URA Gaming. Make sure you check him out on YouTube at Undead Royal Academy. He let me the Whale. I don't own the Whale. I had to pick up an Ultra one. But the Whale came up a few times in the 10 games that I've played so far with this build. You make it a decent amount off the Promethean Princess. And again, helps you just establish the board more. A free pop for Princess. It's going to grab you a Link 3 from the grave. It's going to summon it back. And if they out a Link 3 monster, so Princess, if they out it by battle of a card effect, you can banish this and pop a card. So really nice. 1 Celine, just amazing link climb machine, really. Make sure you have enough spells in the graves to make when you make this. It's happened a few times I've made it, and I've been 1 short because I've shuffled back the 1-for-1 spell, and I didn't realize that, and I've been left at 2. So make sure that you count. But this essentially reborns your Witch. If you do it in a turn where you haven't used Witch, you can still use Witch effect as well, which is great. We have the Promethean Princess card is incredible. If they imperm or Veiler your Turb before you activate the effect, you just make this and reborn Turb. And in the Salad matchup, I had the Salomon Great player. He Veilered my Turb. I made Princess. I summoned it back. He impermed my Turb. I made Whale, and then I rescued, brought my Turb back the 3rd time, and then it resolved. So really, really nice card. And the Princess just gives you extra disruption during your opponent's turn. We have the 1 Sunlight Wolf. Helps you grab backfires, usually Ash. In the Labyrinth matchup, that's very important. You can cycle your Ash Blossoms. We have the SP Little Knight. Best Link 2 in the game by an absolute mile. Banishes on summon if you're using a monster from the extra deck already, or in the grave. And then on a quick effect, will banish 2 cards on the field till the end phase. IP Masquerena to threaten the SP during your opponent's turn. You can protect this easily by putting a Link Rebo in the graveyard early in your combo, and you'll have a Hydrant on your opponent's turn. If they go battle, you let them get to battle, and then you tribute, get the Link Rebo out, and then they con out your IP, and you can still threaten SP in main phase 2. 1 Dark, the Dark Charmer. This card takes so many cards. DPEs it takes the Draco Berserker of the 10Es. I've taken quite a few of those. I've taken Witches of my opponents. Incredible card. Really, really nice. Really easy to make. And the fact that Hydrant can be a fire or dark, because you can link it off into Karibo, gives you amazing access to the both Charmers, which I also play the Heater. Heater, amazing as well. Came up in this week's tournament. I made Heater. I took my opponent's Jet Synchron, and I started doing synchro plays of myself with it. So really, really cool. Nightmare Phoenix, because Promethean Princess does lock you into fires. And if you've already cycled through your Whale and you don't want to make your Wolf, you can make a Phoenix that co-links to it, pop a spell trap, and draw a card. So that's why I play it. 1 Link Karibo. This is amazing. People are saying to ban this card. I cannot in good conscience ban a Karibo card. There's no way it's going to happen, but the card is insane. Level 1 is just all you need, and then you can constantly bring it back from the grave to dodge targeting on them, which is fantastic. We have the 1 Baron de Fleur, because Turb is a level 9 and Jet Synchron's a level 1. We have Savage, because Witch and Fire Engine are level 7s and Jet Synchrons are level 1. And then we have the Sky Crisis. Sometimes this is enough. You break the board, or to a certain amount, and then you slap on a Sky Crisis and you can return something to the extra deck or hand, and that's usually enough sometimes. And then it's just a skill drain permanently from there. So now let's move on to the side deck. Moving on to the side deck, we have our Win in Time condition. Sided it in once. Didn't need to make it because I braked, so I couldn't make it. But this is in theory how we win in time. We have Triple Nib, because this is an amazing going second hand trap. Sucks if you're me and you always draw it as 6th card, but if you're a good player like me, you'll hopefully draw it within your 5 and then you can nib them. Spell and trap removal, we have triple Cosmic Cyclone. You really need that back row removal. A lot of floodgates around these days. Deck lockdown is one hell of a floodgate. Make sure you have your Cosmics for it. We have triple Tactics Thrust with the 1 Duster. Picked up this ulti today off my 2nd place finish, so I'm very happy with that. Thruster is amazing. Thrust is amazing going 1st or 2nd, actually, because I built the side deck that you can thrust into a specific target, and it's actually really, really good this format. Obviously, going 2nd, we have Tactics, Rotor, Duster, incredible cards. We also have the Evenly, so we have 3 different cards that we can thrust into there, being the Tactics, Duster, or Evenly that are going to help break boards. Going 1st, we have 1, the Black Goat Laughs. This is a really, really techie option. If you get hand trapped, you can thrust and set the Black Goat Laughs, and if you know your opponent's deck well enough, you can just call the key monster and they can't summon it for the rest of the turn. And then during your turn, you can banish it and then switch off any of the negates they have by just calling the name. So really, really nice. Really nice card. Really like this. Really spicy tag. And then to round it off, we have the triple Solemn Strike. Card puts in work, guys. You hit the Snake Eye stuff with this. You hit like the Ashes, the Populuses. I actually hit a Salmon Great Gazelle, and that won me the game today as well. So really, really good card. And your opponents don't really expect it. And it's just fantastic. If you're not playing Jet Synchron, this needs to be Judgment 1,000,000%. But since I play Jet Synchron, I can afford it to be Strikes instead. So that's the end of the profile, guys. I hope you guys really enjoyed my Rescue Ace list. That's very hot at the moment. Mind the pun. And as I said, over 2 weeks of locals, it's gone 9-1. So 9 wins and a loss. So I'm very, very happy with this build. And I hope you guys enjoy this build. And let me know in the comments down below, do you think Rescue Ace are playable? And I'll see you all in the next video.